everybody, and welcome to another new feature tutorial. We have a new feature for you guys. It's been out there for maybe about a week or two, so we wanted to see how people use it, and we're quite surprised with how many people have been using this feature. So just some background about it. Right now, when you create a virtual tour, you can geotag the virtual tour to a location, or you can add a floor plan. What we wanted to do was add another element to it, which is adding a map. So if you have like a large space and you don't have a floor plan or an open space, and you can just geotag everything to a Google map, and so you would have that as a reference point. And it's not the most path breaking feature, but I think it's a useful feature. It gives a lot of context to your virtual tour, and is sort of a precursor for our Google Street View integration that is coming soon. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive right into how to use that feature, and hopefully you guys can use it when required. All right, so here we have our tour, our very famous apartment tour. You've seen a lot of our examples around this tour. And here we have a floor plan, but I want to add now a map. So what I go here is I go to add a block, and over here I add a map view. All right, so this map view starts off with location, and then over here, let me copy this. So we use OpenStreetMap. So I would say most places in the US and Europe are supported, but if this search is not supported in other countries, then you would have to just manually use the drag and drop feature. So over here, I got this, right? Now I added this. Now, ideally, what you want to do is this is the location of the place. And then you want to use the same location for all panoramas. This is an option that probably is true 95% of the time. But in case you have a very large tour and you have multiple locations, it might not be very valuable, but I would recommend everybody to use this so that you can then move from that one location and you have a better view. And then once you do that, you hit save. Now over here, this is the map block over here. And these are the map settings. Obviously, this is a name. So for example, if you want to use the same setting, the same icons, the same, you can change the location obviously, but same icons and everything, you can save this block. So at this point, I don't want to really save this block. The location, as you can see, is set up for here. Now here you see there's a blue icon and there is a red icon. The red icon is the location icon. And the reason for the location is if you want to just show where this place is, where this house is, where this restaurant is, then what you would want to do is you just want to go to marker visibility and just say location only. And that's it, right? So you get this, it's good to go. You can see the location is here. You can, if you want to change the location icon, you can change the location icon to maybe, let's say, blue or wherever. I like red, so I'm just going to keep red for now. And now if you select all, then you also have the ability to change the panel icon. So let's say you want, some other, at this time, I'm not going to change that, but you can change whatever icon you want. Now, the reason for this is when I do panels only, then you only have the panels over here, and then you would probably have to sort of drag them out a little bit. So this is sort of a slightly tedious process if your panoramas are not geotagged. But if they are, then like I told you, this will be, as it's supposed to be. And you can see all of these have the radar. And here you can set the north. So for example, if you think this is the north, you kind of go here, save, and so you can keep doing that for every panorama if you want. But like I said, this is very useful when you already have the geotag. Now there are two, you can either use that or you can just satellite view. So this could be useful to do it over here. Now I want I want the thing. So I can do this and I can maybe place this over here. So ideally, this is where it's going to be. So I really like the satellite view because it kind of shows the place. These lines are coming from Google. Like we really don't know how to fix it, but these are coming from the tiles from Google itself. And then, ideally this should be over here. So I'm going to sort of move them over here in case you know how they are placed, like there's no need to really do all of these. This is slightly tedious if they're not geotagged. So I would recommend using the panorama stuff only if the geotag exists. Otherwise, if you have a lot of panoramas, you'll have to drag and drop. And there's no other way to do it other than this way. Because you have to mark every panorama separately, right? So depending on what kind of tour you have, you can choose any of these things. I'd prefer, if it's a real estate tour, just use location only. That should be more than enough. Now, we have two things. We have slide and pop-up. Now, for example, just one more thing. If for whatever reason you believe that this, this is not the exact location and you want to change it, you can just go here and edit the location and go ahead and do that same thing like we did before. So you always have that option. And as always, you can enable or disable it from the view. Now let's see how it looks like. So over here we have two things. We have slide or pop-up. I'll show you what the two features are. So now let's go here. Okay. So here you have this thing. So this is the slide feature. So when you click on it, it sort of slides out. And you click on it, it goes up. You can move the map around. We're going to make this specific slide feature, we're going to make it a little bit better. But for now, this is kind of what it is. And then the pop-up will be very similar to the saving it to the feature, the floor plan feature. So it's going to be very similar to that. So when you click on this, it comes up over here, kind of like a pop-up. You can close it. So this is the map feature. We're obviously going to make this better over a period of time, add some more functionality, but I think this solves for 95% of what is possible in a map feature, and lets you geotag, lets you add different icons, change the location. You can zoom in or zoom out the view and save it, and then it'll keep this as the zoomed in. So the only one thing I would say is that sometimes when you're trying to add this, you might kind of zoom in like this, but this is not going to be the final thing. This is the zoom view. So depending on what view you set here, it's going to show up on the final. So ideally, I usually like to keep it something like this. And yeah, and so obviously when you hover over it, it shows the thing. So you could also like, just do this. And so when you hover over it, you can only see this. So a lot of options to make it really cool. So if you do all, this is what you get. And each of these have their own names. So if I save this and go back, refresh it, you can see this, and then you can change. So one of the reasons why I like the slide view is you can see it change as you're selecting the tour. So like over here, I have to like go over here and say, okay, formal dining, and then close the pop-up. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to close the pop-up automatically, because then every time you select a panel, you have to keep going back and forth. So I recommend slide and save. And so this gives you the best of all the worlds. So when you click on this, you can kind of see the tour. And then when you want to go in, you can just kind of go in and move it. So I think this is really cool. We are obviously building more features into this specific feature, just the way we improved the maps recently. We'll also improve the floor plan recently. We'll improve the maps over a period of time. And hopefully you like this feature and you use it. And thank you for your time.